Realm of the Mad God is a bullet hell, permadeath, roguelike that I guess you would call an MMO. It's much smaller than what you would normally consider an MMO like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV. It originally started out as just a little flash game, so it doesn't have the scope or content of a AAA production. You can really feel its limited budget sometimes while playing. But despite that, it does have in it some unique features that I've never seen replicated in any other game of the genre, and I think that's because they come directly from its smaller scope. So I want to talk about the new player experience within Realm and how the unique interaction between new players and veterans keeps the player engaged and makes them more likely to become veteran players themselves. Most other MMOs separate the high tier players from the newbies. Many games will use zones or areas to separate out more difficult monsters and quests from the beginner areas. So everyone will be in different places doing different quests and will generally be grouped around with other players that are in the same level as them. Realm, however, has one zone, a continuous world that ramps up difficulty gradually based on how inland you go. All players start by loading in on the beach, so as a low-level player running along defeating the lowland enemies, sometimes a higher level player will just run past you on their way to whatever thing they're off to do. Sometimes they'll do this little drive-by maneuver where you'll be fighting an enemy and then some dude will teleport to you, nuke whatever the hell it was you were fighting, and then run off. As a new player, you get to see the top level players and what they can do. You get to see their items and how powerful they are, because you're all in the same place. And there's no real downside to this for the new players. Even if the maxed wizard spell bombs the boss you were fighting to smithereens, you still get full experience, and you can still collect loot from it. It just feels like finding a $20 bill. Like, oh hey, look at that, free stuff. Across the entire world, there are 45 bosses that need to be defeated in order to close the realm and fight the main boss of the game, Oryx. They are scattered along the level progression from level 5 to 20. So everyone has this collective goal that they can contribute to. Low levels can help close the realm in the same way veterans can. I don't want to waste my time killing liches, they say. I've got gods to kill. There is still an incentive for the vets to go for some of the low level bosses, however, because they can be upgraded, so to speak, if you have a high enough DPS, and they can drop unique items that can be pretty prized, such as the Quiver of Thunder. So occasionally, you'll be chilling, killing a giant tree and all that, and then this flock of maxed characters will flood in, and all of a sudden it's a fight for your life as the boss gets all souped up. This adds to the fun and the intermixing of high and low level players. Everyone's given the same goals and are never separated out, so there are so many opportunities to see the cool things you can do once you get better at the game. And then once you do close the realm, the real fun begins. So picture this. You're running along, killing these little squid monster things and bears that walk upright on two legs, when suddenly, the whole world starts shaking. A few seconds later, you are teleported somewhere. Oryx's castle. You and every other player on the realm get dropped into the same place and try to make it through to the big baddie, Oryx himself. Everything here can kill you in seconds as a little level 13 archer, but you're not alone. All of the big veteran players are here too, and typically, they will plow through the enemies like they're cannon fodder. And you get to charge alongside them as they basically mop the floor of the place and you try to contribute however you can. But really, you're being hard carried through this. This moment is so cool. It feels like you're part of an invading army, and even if you're not really doing anything, you still feel like you're part of the team. And some classes, even the lowest level ones, can help out. Clerics and Necros can heal everybody. Bards and warriors can buff allies. Mystics can freeze enemies and apply curses, if they know what they're doing at least. Anybody can help destroy these statues, while the big guys deal with the actual threats. It feels like a big collaborative effort. And since you still get experience for other people killing stuff, even if you don't do anything, you can get kind of power leveled as you run through the halls. The first time I teleported to the castle, I was level 15, and I leveled up 3 times to level 18 before I got cornered and retreated back to the Nexus for safety. I felt like some sort of scavenger, getting in quick, getting the free loot and experience, and then noping out the moment things got hairy. It was exhilarating. While for the mid to high tier players that are there, it's just another day at the office, clocking in, trying to get those elusive tops and white bags. Another thing that's unique to this game is the culture of charity and giving in the way players will just hand down items to noobs. But before we talk about that, we need to talk about video game economies. So, unlike most games in the same genre, there isn't a shop to buy or sell items or any crafting system in order to get them. The only way you find potions, weapons, armors, pets, and everything else is by killing monsters and collecting them as loot. And this makes a massive difference in how the game works internally and the value that items have. As a mid or high tier player, you don't have any real use for tier 8 weapons or tier 9 armors, as you will reliably be able to find better stuff. You also can't really sell them either, not to in-game shops for gold or to other players. They just aren't valuable enough to go through the hassle of trading. So you can either just drop them on the ground or just give them away. So this genuinely happens. Someone will just send you a trade request, give you a better item than what you're using, and then just leave. And it happens fairly frequently too. I made a brand new character to see if this would happen to me while I was leveling them, and within literally a few minutes, someone teleported to me, gave me a good weapon and a skill, and then just moved on. Like literally the first try that I wanted to do this. I was thinking maybe I would have to make a few characters before this would happen. Nope. And as a new player, this feels like being handed a holy relic. Like the divines have come down and graced you with an item of awesome might. And as a veteran player, you feel good because you weren't going to use that worthless staff for anything. Recycling is good for the environment. And this culture perpetuates itself. As a new player, I was sometimes given items way better than I deserved. So I make a point when playing of trying to give away items to new accounts too. I don't know of any other game where random people will just hand out high tier equipment. Some players will just drop items in populated areas for whoever picks it up, which is still its own act of charity, and it's how I've acquired many a good item in my time. A reason that this culture can even exist is because there are no requirements for equipping items. Many games need you to be a certain level or to have a high enough stat in order to equip gear, but in Realm, a baby-faced blue star rogue can wield the most powerful daggers in the game. It's all about getting them, that's the hard part. Now, I don't want to oversell this element too much. Some players don't do this, and that's fine. There's literally nothing to incentivize you to do so, outside of that warm, fuzzy feeling of being a decent human being, but the fact that it happens at all is pretty remarkable. Realm isn't a perfect game. Sometimes I wonder if it's even a good game, but this experience of mixing high and low players together is something that's unique to Realm, and I think others could gain to imitate this interaction. Giving low-level players a glimpse into the powerful items they can find and the cool players they can become is super motivating to keep playing and getting better. I've tried quite a few MMOs, and personally, I've never stuck with any to get to the endgame raids, events, and content, except for Realm. While I've not done all of the top-level content, I have participated in some of the higher events, and I've even maxed a character before, which is no small feat in a permadeath roguelike. I think this little culture of charity and the smaller scope is what made the game more inviting to me. The simplicity of not having 47 hotbars and ability combos certainly didn't hurt either. The game is still getting updates, and recently, the game devs have been focusing on their community and building more content for their players. So maybe the game will see a little resurgence. And if it does, I hope to see you out there. And if I do, I swear to God that if you pull 17 Medusas into me in the Nexus, I will end you. Hey, thanks for watching this short little essay on something that has a very little importance whatsoever. If you want me to keep making things, please leave a nice comment, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you want me to stop making things, then just go somewhere else. There's room on the internet for everybody, buddy. Go say something nice about yourself in the mirror today, and I'll see you again soon.